need to master in order to become proficient in English, okay? Other than writing, reading, other than reading and writing, you also need to be good in speaking, okay? Okay, speaking comes with listening. It goes hand in hand, okay? Because when you speak, people listen, and when people speak, you listen. So it goes together, all right? Okay, now let me move on. Okay, at the end of this presentation, okay, I hope all of you will be able to speak better in a group discussion, okay? And you can use suitable phrases, expressions in a group discussion, and you can also use appropriate sentence connectors in your discussion, okay? So these are the things that I hope you can achieve, or I can achieve, and I would love to convey this message, okay, or this information, share my information, share my experiences with you in this workshop, okay? Okay, now, there comes two pictures here, okay? Okay, how do you feel when you have a presentation the next day? Let's say your teacher tells you, okay, Adam or Nurin, you have a presentation to do tomorrow. So how would you feel? Okay, there are two pictures there. Okay, one picture on the left-hand side is a happy picture. Wow, very excited. Okay, just waiting to present. Can't wait for the presentation. And the one on the right-hand side, oh dear, not me again. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Okay, now, very quickly, can you just write in the chat box, what is your response to this question? How do you feel when you have a presentation the next day? Okay, you just have to write whether it's picture 1 or picture 2. Picture 1 is on the left-hand side, which is the happy picture. And picture 2 is the stress or confusing picture. So just write the number, picture 1 or picture 2. Picture 2 is looks very depressing. So which face will you have when your teacher tells you that you have a presentation the next day? Can you please just write in the chat box very quickly? Just write the number, 1 or 2. I give you like 2 minutes maybe, or less than that. Very quickly, come on. Okay, so it looks like many of you are actually, you know, having or believe that you have picture 2 or phase 2, which is stress. You look stressed, confused, worried, all right? What's going to happen? Okay, so it's okay because this is normal. Okay, we normally have these feelings when we have a presentation to make, but we can always overcome this feeling. So not to worry. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Okay, before I go further, I would like to tell you what I'm going to present today because it's very important. Okay, it's very important for you to know what is my presentation is about. Okay, first, I'm going to talk about EPT speaking exam format. Okay, I think this is a very important topic. Okay, and most of you, I'm sure you want to know more about this. Okay, so just hang on there. And next, I will also talk about how to achieve a good band in speaking exam, okay? And tips on how to be a good speaker in a group discussion, okay? Useful phrases in a group discussion. What are the phrases that you can use? And the outline template of a presentation, and also use of sentence connectors in a presentation. So roughly, these are the things that I'm going to talk about. So please stay tuned. All right, and focus, right? All right, group discussion. Okay, here we come. We are here. We are going to discuss now about the speaking exam format. So the first thing, the speaking exam will be conducted in the form of group discussion. I think your teachers have already told you, okay, and you have been doing practices in your classroom and in your via Google Meet and so on, okay. And your teacher will put you in groups of 4 or 3, okay. There will be 2 examiners during the exam, okay, and you will not know who are the examiners, but there will be 2 of them. And your speaking exam is actually a few weeks away, and it will be conducted in week 12, semester 1, 2021 via Google Meet, okay. Topic given during the exam cannot be changed. That means if you are given the topic, you cannot tell the examiner, oh, can I have another topic, or can you give me some choices where I can choose the topics? No, you can't, okay. So whatever is given to you, you have to present on that topic, all right. And most of the topics are opinion based, okay. They are asking for your opinion, all right. So this is the format. I think you know. I hope it's clear. All right. Okay. Now we are the next part, which is very important, is the duration of the speaking exam. Okay. How long will the exam be? How long do you have to prepare? So here, as you can see, if you are in groups of 4, okay, you are given 5 minutes to prepare, okay, 5 minutes to prepare, and the discussion time is actually 15 minutes, all right. And if you are in groups of 3, your preparation time is also 5 minutes, but your discussion time is 10 minutes only, okay. And during your preparation time, you are not allowed to discuss. That means you cannot ask your friends, or you cannot refer to any books or whatever, okay. So, and I don't think you have time also. You only have 5 minutes, okay. So use well, okay. Use the time given for you to prepare wisely, okay. And when you are asked to discuss, or when you are asked to start the presentation, or when it's your turn to speak, make sure you speak for about 3 to 4 minutes, okay. If you speak very little, then the examiners might not be able to give you the correct band for your speaking. It's too little to assess, okay. So make sure you speak about 3 to 4 minutes per person, okay. So this is the duration of the speaking exam, all right. And then now another question, okay. How to achieve a good band in a speaking test? Okay, so for this, I'm sure this question is also running in your head, all right. How do I do well? How do I get a band 7? How do I get band 6.5 or band 8? All right. I think most of us, we fall into the category of fair. All right. We are not that good, not too bad, but I'm sure that many of you here who are actually good speakers. Okay. And some of you are excellent. All right. And there will be a handful of you who might not be very good. Maybe you go under the poor category. All right. So not to worry. All right. Because if you are not good in your speaking, you can always improve. Okay. All right. So what do the examiners look for when you do your test? Okay. First, they look for fluency and coherence. Okay. Okay. Fluency is how effective is your language. Okay. And coherence is like how do you actually arrange your ideas? Is it in logical order? Is it clear? Is there a flow in your presentation? All right. And for this, you should speak at length. At length here means you should speak at least about the time that is given to you. Don't speak too little. Some students, they speak like, just 1-2 sentences and that's it. So that is not enough for the examiner to evaluate you. You have to speak at least for about 3 to 4 minutes, as I said earlier. Okay. But also remember not to speak too much. Okay. Like, let's say you are given 15 minutes and you are just talking for 10 minutes. What about the other friends? Okay. So you must remember that you have to give chance to your other friends also to speak. Okay. So just stay to your time limit given, about 3 to 4 minutes. That will be fine. All right. And use a range of sentence connectors appropriately. Okay, sentence connectors. I think all of you know what are sentence connectors. Like but, or, while, okay, and so on. Okay, and I think you have done this a lot in your writing also. You use a lot of sentence connectors in your writing. So in speaking also, you should use sentence connectors. Okay. Because sentence connectors actually gives you the sequence, and the examiner knows that, okay, this is your first point, this is your second point, okay, or this is maybe a contrast of ideas, so you use like on the other hand or however. So the examiners or your friends will be able to understand you better. Okay. And the next one is avoid long pauses. Okay, long pauses here means you have like a breakdown in the communication, that you don't know what to say next. You just keep quiet. Okay, so there will be a long pause. So we do not want you to speak like that. All right, so avoid that. So how do you actually avoid long pauses? What do you do? Let's say you have said an idea, and suddenly you feel that, oh, I'm running out of idea. What do I say next? Okay, I think the best thing that you can do is you provide examples, give explanation, give your own experiences based on the topic. Okay, because when you give examples, you are actually continuing the presentation. Okay, and by giving examples, by giving your own experiences in your topic, in your speech, people will understand better. You can relate the topic to your experiences, and then you can share with your friends. Okay, so whenever you feel that you have nothing to say, just put in an example, or any other supporting details like your own experiences. Maybe you want to share a story that you have heard from your friend, or maybe you have read from a book. Okay, but make sure the story is related to the topic. Okay, don't say something that is not related at all. All right, so it has to have a connection. All right, and then avoid occasional repetition of words or sentences. Okay, because sometimes from my experiences as an examiner, I always find students have problems, like they will say like students should, then they will say students should, I think students should. Okay, how many times do you need to repeat student should, right? So try not to do that. Okay, don't repeat the words. Okay, you can go slow, but make sure you have something to say after that. All right, so these are the things that you need to improve, or if you are lacking, now you know that these are the things that the examiners are looking for when they actually evaluate you. So avoid all these things. All right, the next one is vocabulary. Okay, words are important. These are very important. This is actually important tool for you to convey your message, your idea. Words, vocabulary. Okay, so what do you do for vocabulary? So use wide range of vocabulary to discuss topics at length. Okay, you must have a few different words. Okay, to convey your ideas. Don't always repeat the same word. Okay, like maybe you like to say words like I think. Why don't you say something else? Use different words. All right, you can say I agree, I disagree, okay, I believe, I support. So try to use different words. All right, and then use good word choice to construct clear, meaningful sentences. All right, word choice is very important, you know. For example, you know, if let's say if a student say a sentence like this, people should build good habits. Okay, the word build is not a very, you know, clear word. Build, do you build good habits? Maybe what you can do, you change the word build to cultivate. See, people should cultivate good habits. So when you use the word cultivate, it gives the right meaning and people understand better. Okay, so that is the word choice. The word choice must be very clear. Another example is like, you know, some students, they say like, you know, students should share their, students should give their experiences. Okay, students should give their experiences. Okay, the word give, is it appropriate? Students should give. Do you give your experiences? Normally for experiences you share, right? So instead of using the word give, you should say share. Students should share their experiences or share their knowledge or share information. Okay, so that's what it means, word choice. The words that you use must be appropriate. Okay, and when the words are used clearly, appropriately, then the meaning definitely will be very clear. All right. Okay, next is paraphrase well. What do you mean by paraphrase well? Okay, let's say your friend has stated an opinion and you want to add on to her point. So you don't have to actually copy what she has said word by word, or, you know, say something like what she has said earlier. You can paraphrase the idea, okay, but the meaning is the same. So that is what it means, paraphrase. That means you use your own words, okay, you construct a sentence with your own words, okay, to maybe to support or to disagree with your friend. All right, and then but the meaning is the same. All right, don't repeat sentences from your friends. Okay, you should be able to construct your own sentences. All right. Okay, next, what do you think the examiners will look for? Grammar. All right, grammar is an important part in an English language. Even in writing also you need grammar. Speaking also you need grammar. All right, so you should use a mix of simple, compound, and complex sentences. I'm sure you know what is simple, compound, complex sentences, right? You have done this in your writing classes. So when you write, you also use these sentences. So when you speak, you also need to use a mixture of these sentences. Okay, so you can use simple, compound, you can use sentence connectors. Complex also can use sentence connectors, but it's a bit longer. Okay, and you should frequently produce error-free sentences. Okay, not everybody can speak perfectly, right? So it's okay to make mistakes here and there, but try to minimize your errors when you speak, especially in terms of grammar. Okay, let's say you know, if you are speaking in an exam, okay, and you notice or you realize that you have made a mistake in grammar, in whatever you have said maybe a few seconds ago, you don't have to correct the error there. It's okay, just continue. Just make sure that the next sentences that you are going to speak, okay, is free of errors. Okay, you don't have to I think I made a mistake. It's supposed to be the boys are, but I said the boys is. I'm sorry, and so on. No need to apologize. Just move on. Okay, because if you do that, then it shows that, okay, you are not very good in grammar, so you are giving a hint to the examiner. So no need. If you realize that you have made a mistake, it's okay, just move on, but make sure after you realize, to make sure that the sentences that you're going to speak are better than the earlier one. Okay, without, if possible, without any errors. Okay, and utter sentences which will not cause comprehension problem. Okay, you must speak clearly. Your sentences must be clear. all right? Sometimes when you say something, people cannot understand what you're trying to say. Okay, maybe there are a lot of long pauses, or maybe you repeat too many times certain words, and then maybe your subject word agreement is not there, all right? So it can cause people or the examiners or even your friends might not understand what you are saying. So make sure you speak sentences which are which will not cause comprehension problem to the others. Okay. Okay, the next thing that the examiners will look for is the pronunciation. Okay, this is also important because speaking comes with pronunciation. Okay, you speak when you pronounce certain words, right? So, for example, if you see in the picture here, what is the word there? How do you pronounce Nike?
Nike.
Nike. Yes.
Nike.
Anybody here who pronounce it as Nike? I bought Nike shoes yesterday, or I bought Nike shoes yesterday. Okay, so pronunciation is very important. Okay, so Nike is actually Nike. All right. So this is just an example. All right. So you need to explain. You need to pronounce the words correctly. And you know there will be problems if you don't pronounce it properly, because people might not understand what you're trying to say. That is going to be a problem if you cannot pronounce the words clearly. Okay, so how do you learn how to pronounce the words? Okay, so the best thing is actually, I think you go through the dictionary. All right, and then now I think all of you have this digital dictionary in your handphone, right? So what you do is you just type the word if you don't know how to pronounce, and then sometimes they have the speaker at the corner there. You can click to the button, then the person will actually pronounce it for you. So that's how you learn how to pronounce the word that you are not very sure. Okay, so actually dictionary is your best, it should be your best friend. Okay, and now you don't have to carry all thick dictionaries anymore. It's all in your phone, right? So anytime you can just find the meaning of the word as well as the how is it pronounced. Okay, so learn through that way. All right. Okay, other than that, so those are the things, remember, those are the things that the examiners will look for. And there are also other things that you need to know. What else do we need to be a good speaker? All right, now, okay, a good speaker will always be well prepared, be punctual, speak confidently, listen actively, use appropriate tone, express support, acknowledge when confronted. Okay, what does it mean? I'm going to go through this thoroughly with you. Okay, so let's start with this one first. Okay, the first thing first is you need to be well prepared. Okay, for anything, when let's say your teacher asks you to present something, make sure you are prepared for it. Okay, and just for your information, the topics of discussion in the EPT speaking exam are actually based on the themes that are in the textbook. You know, in your textbook, there are themes, right? Like technology, education, environment, and all those themes. Okay, so the questions or the topics that will be asked, all right, are based on those themes. Okay, so what you do is you need to read. Start reading. When do you read? Is it one day before the exam or 2 days before the exam? No. No, you cannot start reading just one day or few hours before the exam. You have to start now. Today is the time. Don't procrastinate. Okay? Start reading materials from newspapers, from magazines, from encyclopedia, or from any articles that you find from the website that is related to the themes from the textbook. Okay? Because why do you need to read actually? The reason is very simple. When you read, your knowledge is more, right? You have a lot of information. So what you do during the presentation, you can share the information, you can share the knowledge, okay? And you will have a lot to say during the presentation because you are well read. You have already prepared your work, okay? Don't tell me you don't have time to read, okay? You don't have to read for so many hours. Just take maybe half an hour a day, right? Read something. Okay, you start off with your newspapers maybe, all right? Read magazines, read books. So be prepared for your exam because now you know you're going to have your speaking exam soon, right? So you start reading now, all right? Even when you read, you can also use the information for your writing, for your task too. You can also get ideas for your task too. So reading is actually very important. Okay, it's not just, you're not just reading for speaking, but you're also reading for other things. Okay, as a university student, you should read. You should be well informed about many things. All right. Okay, next, punctuality. Okay, this is something that I normally observe in my students. They are not punctual. Okay, even during face-to-face class, students actually come to class very late, all right? Maybe they can even come to class when the class is going to end. Okay, so that is not good, right? So punctuality, so you need to join the exam Google Meet session at least a few minutes earlier. Okay, not right on the dot or maybe few minutes late. You cannot be late for your exam. Okay, you must remember this is an exam. Okay, it is not a class. So for exam, you cannot be late. You have to be on time. In fact, you should be earlier. You should be ready earlier. All right. So you can join in maybe 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes will be too early. Maybe you can discuss with your teacher when should you actually join. So normally the teachers will give you instruction, right, through WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, you can join now. So immediately you need to join. Don't disappear. Okay, or join in late and say, oh, I'm going to go to toilet. I went to toilet, or I was drinking I was drinking water, or doing this, doing that. Okay, don't give excuses. So because this is an exam, you have to be ready. All right. And you know, when you are late, you tend to be very nervous, and you tend to forget things. All right. So we don't want that to happen. So be early so that you have a few minutes, all right, to greet the examiner, to greet your friends. Okay, maybe have some light chat with your friends before you start, all right? And you will be calm. You will feel more calm, relaxed if you are early, all right? So don't be late. And make sure your Wi-Fi connection is also good during the exam. Okay, this one, you know, a lot of problems have happened during the exam actually, where students lost their Wi-Fi connection, you know, and suddenly they disappear from the Google Meet session, and then they rejoin, you know, things like that. So we don't want that kind of interruption. So make sure your Wi-Fi connection is good, because you already know you're going to have a speaking exam, so you should be ready. All right. So these are the things that you must remember. All right. Okay, next one, speak confidently. Can you speak like the person in the picture there? You see how is he speaking? So confident, right? Okay. Now, what do you mean by speak confidently? Your words, your sentences must sound confident. Okay, there must be some kind of confidence in your words, in your sentences. So what you do is you use minimum use of qualifiers. Example, try not to use so many phrases like I think, I feel, you know, because this implies uncertainty in what you are saying. That means it shows that you are not very sure. You're just saying that, okay, I think like this, I feel like this, you know. So instead of that, you can use phrases like I believe, I agree, or I disagree, I'm certain. So these are stronger words, okay, stronger words that can actually help you to convey your idea clearly. Okay, instead of using I think, I feel, you know, no, those kind of phrases are not very good. You can use them, but try to minimize them. Instead, use phrases that have strong words. Okay? And then avoid using tag questions. What are tag questions? Example, okay, let's say you are talking and you ask this question. Is our best option now, isn't it? So then another question, we can do this better, can't we? You see, this is tag question. So this sounds like you are seeking approval from others regarding your say. That means you are not sure, you just want to ask other people to agree with you, and there's sense of uncertainty in your question. Okay, you don't have to ask approval from others. You have your own say. You have your own stand. So you have to be very firm with it. Okay, so when you have tag questions like this, you might sound less confident. Okay, so try to avoid using tag questions. All right. Okay, now this always happens in the exam. Okay, what happens if you do not understand the topic? What will you do? Are you going to ask your friend, or are you going to look left and right? No, the best thing for you to do, or the first action that you must take is ask the examiners, what is the question asking for? Maybe there are certain words in the topic or in the title that you are not sure. Okay, you can ask for clarification. Okay, our examiners are not that cruel. They are all very kind-hearted people. They will help you in explaining to you what they actually want from you. Okay, so you can ask the examiner regarding the topic if you do not understand. It's better to speak. It's better to ask rather than just keeping quiet, and then when you speak something else out of the topic already. So we don't want that. So please ask. And what if you do not know what to say? Okay, sometimes after the examiners have told you the meaning of the topic, or some words has been explained to you, you still do not know what to say. So do not panic. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Okay, so what you do is you allow your friends to present first. Okay, then you listen to their points. What do your friends have to say about the topic? All right. Then from there, you try to support or you disagree with their points. All right. And then you provide examples, experiences, and others in your presentation. Okay. So that's what you do if you do not know what to say. So let your friends present first. Listen to them. From there, you will get some ideas what to say, or whether you should agree or disagree. All right. And then you can continue talking by giving examples, experiences, like what I said earlier. These are all very important supporting details that you can share in your presentation. Okay, so do not panic, just stay cool, calm. All right. Okay, now listen actively. All right, during the discussion, you need to listen to your friend who is talking. Okay, you don't do anything else. You listen. All right, and you are not encouraged to prepare your work during that time. Okay, let's say the 5 minutes of preparation time given to you earlier, right? Maybe you find that that's too short of time. You want to continue now. When your friend is talking, you start doing your work, and you try to get your own ideas, what to say, what not to say. And then at the end, when it comes to your turn, you have not much to say, because you know why? You did not listen to your friends. When your friends were talking, you were busy doing your work. Okay, so you will miss out some of the important points that your friends have shared. Why do you need to listen to them? Because when you listen to them, you might get some ideas on how to actually expand your points. You can actually agree with them or disagree with them. Okay, and then you can share some thoughts with them. It's very important to listen. As I told you earlier, speaking and listening comes together. All right, and however, okay, when you are listening to your friends, you can actually write down your friends' points in case you need to agree or disagree with the points later. Okay, sometimes your friends have many points, right? So what you do is you can jot down what did they say, or what did she or he say. Why do you need to jot down? Maybe sometimes when you want to continue talking or when you want to present your points, you might forget what your friends have said. So you just jot down. Jot down here means you just write the keyword. You don't have to write long sentences and then, something like a paragraph like that. You have no time for that. Just write the keyword. What did your friend say? Then from there, you expand the ideas. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to stay focused and listen when your friends are presenting. That's very important. Okay? Okay, the next one. All right. We have 3 pictures here. Who do you think looks confident? Okay, on the left hand side, you can see a picture of a girl who looks very timid, who is like about to cry, right? And the picture in the middle, you can see a baby who is actually staring at you very confidently, all right, and very calm. And you have another picture on the right hand side, a student who is actually very, I think she looks very stressed, angry maybe, all right, and can be aggressive, right? So when you are presenting, how should you behave? Which picture should represent you? Is it the first picture, the baby, the girl who is very shy or timid, or the picture of the baby, or the picture of the student? I'm sure all of you will agree with me that the picture of the baby should reflect you, right or not? You should stay steady, calm, confident, all right, especially when giving presentation, because the examiners will actually know whether you are confident or not. How do they know? From the way you speak. All right, so you must impress them. All right, impress them with your confidence. So be like the baby, very confident, stay calm, stay cool, all right, and speak well. That's very important. Don't be like the student on the right hand side, so angry, so so aggressive, all right. Sometimes you cannot agree with your friend. You tend to raise your voice, try to be a bit aggressive. No, we don't want that kind of discussion. And then on the left hand side, you have the picture there, the girl, so shy, so timid. Some students, they don't actually speak much, just 2-3 sentences, and they just look at you like that. Oh, okay, it's not me, please don't call me, that kind of expression. So so we don't want that kind of students as well. So you need to improve yourself. Okay, if you are picture 1, if you behave like picture 1 or picture number 3, the third picture. All right, anyway, the baby is very cute, right? Okay, next. Now, appropriate tone. Your voice is an important tool in your presentation. Your voice, use your voice. Okay, what do I mean here by voice? All right, when you speak, you need to speak loudly and clearly. Okay, do not speak in a soft tone. Sometimes you know, the examiners have to strain their ears, you know, what are you trying to say actually, you know, like, you know, when you speak so softly, people will lose interest in listening to you. All right, so please speak loudly and clearly. All right, and you know, when you speak soft, the examiners cannot hear you, your friends also cannot hear you, then the communication will have a problem. All right, because when you speak very soft, in a soft tone, it conveys doubt and lowers your credibility, you know. It doesn't show that you're confident. A person who is confident normally talks loudly and clearly. Okay, so your voice, use your voice. All right, and do not rush to finish when you speak. Sometimes you speak so fast like a bullet train. I do not know why. And then at the end of the sentence, nobody understood what you said. All right, so speak slowly, take your time. Okay, and do not interrupt your friend who is presenting. Okay, let's say, you know, sometimes your friend just started talking and then you interrupt with a question, or you try to stop her from presenting or stop him from presenting. So that's not a good idea. So do not interrupt them unless, okay, unless if your friend is talking for too long. Okay, let's say your friend has been talking for, oh my god, it's about like 10 minutes already, and he's not, there's no sign of him that he's going to stop. So what do? Then you can interrupt him politely. Okay, you can say, excuse me, may I say something? Okay, or excuse me, Farid, may I say what I think now? Okay, say it politely. This is only if your friend is actually talking too much. All right, so make sure everybody speaks according to their time limit. So that will be fair, because it will give everybody a chance to speak on that topic. Okay. Okay. So what if you don't? As I said earlier, you cannot speak in a soft tone. So what do? You should sound firm, but not aggressive or unfriendly. Like just now, look at the picture on the right hand side. The student is so aggressive and unfriendly. Okay, so we don't want this type of student in the discussion. Scary, you know. All right, so you have to sound firm. Okay, sound firm means like you should say what you want to say. All right, use strong words, and you can speak loudly. All right, but in a polite manner. All right, and don't try to be monotonous. Okay, you know what is monotonous or not? It's like, you know, when you speak, there's no expressions at all. It's like, it's just like a straight line. Like, you know, there is no excitement in your presentation. There's no feeling, you know. So you cannot speak like that. So you have to stress certain words. You need to stress, like when you want to, you know, when you are stating your stand, for example, you need to raise your voice a little bit to show that you are emphasizing on that point, you see. And certain part you can lower down a little bit. All right, so there must be up and downs in your voice. It cannot be just monotonous. All right, so make your presentation lively by using your voice. Okay, your voice is actually an important tool in your presentation. All right, so remember to avoid being monotonous in the presentation. Always have some life in your presentation, in your voice. Okay, use your voice to impress the examiner. All right. Okay, next, express support. Okay, what if your idea has been stated by your friend in the discussion? So what do? Let's say 2 or 3 of your friends have already said the same thing. What do? So do not feel you have nothing to say. It's okay. Let them say what they want to say. All right. You should express support to your friend's idea. You can also disagree. Okay. And then how do you support? You can share additional thoughts. Right. For example, you can say, hey, great idea. Great. When you say great idea, that means you are showing support. Right. We may also want to add, Okay, the sentence we may also want to add shows that you are giving your points now. Okay, so always support your friends' ideas, all right? Support them first, then continue with your points. Okay, then at least you are also giving some kind of motivation to your friends, like, okay, that's good, all right, so but I have something else to say, or I want to add on. So let's motivate each other by supporting each other in the discussion. All right. Okay, acknowledge when confronted. All right, so not all your friends will agree with you in a presentation, so you have to remain polite. It's okay, nothing to be angry about or getting upset. All right, it's just a discussion, all right, sharing of thoughts and so on. So how do you remain polite? You can say, I see your point, but, okay, but what? But I do not agree with certain ideas of yours. Maybe you want to say that. Okay, so acknowledge them, acknowledge their ideas first. Okay, like when you say, I see your point, or I do agree partially with your points, for example. You see, so you acknowledge them first. Okay, then you need to justify your stand or recommendation. Okay, give your points, your supporting details, express your stand. Okay, justify, give evidences. Okay, give some maybe examples, right? You can recommend certain things also in your discussion. Okay, if this cannot happen, we can also do something else. All right. And remember, when you speak, there is no right or wrong idea in a discussion. Nobody is right or nobody is wrong, because this is an opinion-based discussion. So you can say whatever you want to say, as long as you can justify your stand and you can give good supporting details to support your stand. Okay? You can see in the picture there, right? The boy say, I'm right. The girl say, me too. So who is right, who is wrong? Actually, there's nobody who is right, nobody who is wrong. All the opinions are accepted as long as they are logical. Okay? Okay, now we move on to the next part, useful phrases. Okay, some students might want to know, how do you actually start a discussion? Okay, as usual, okay, you need to give salam, okay, or greet your audience. You can say example, like good morning, good afternoon to my teachers and friends, depending what time is your exam. If your exam is in the evening, then you say good evening, okay, or you can give salam to your teachers, okay. Not only to your teachers, you can also give to your friends. Okay, I think that's the best way to start a conversation. Greet each other, all right? Of course, with a smile. Okay, how do you move to the next point? Okay, you can say example like this. Now, let's move on to my next point. Okay, or you can say that leads me to my next point. These are some examples only. Or you can just say as simple as like, my second point is, you can also say that. Okay, make it simple. All right. And then how do you close your discussion? You need to summarize the points that have been discussed. Normally for conclusion, in your group discussion, only one of you need to conclude actually, to give a conclusion, a conclusion for the whole group. Only one person does the conclusion normally, okay? So the person who is going to do the conclusion will say something like, okay, to sum up, or in conclusion, or let me conclude this presentation, okay? So when you conclude, you summarize what your friends have said, okay? That's why I said just now, when your friends are talking, you need to jot down their points. You don't have to say all the things that they have said, just briefly, whether they agree or disagree, okay, or what are the recommendations that have been maybe proposed, or things like that. Yeah, just 2-3 sentences for conclusion, that will be enough. All right. And of course, when you leave, you just say thank you. thank your audience, thank your friends and also the examiners. All right. Okay, now other useful phrases. Okay, if you want to ask for opinions, for example, maybe your friend have said something, but you are not very. Maybe you want to ask for more opinions. Okay, so you can ask like, could you tell me what do you think about? Do you think, feel? May I ask you about this? You can ask using these phrases to start the question or to ask for opinions. Okay, sometimes you might have students or your friends might not know what to say, they are stammering maybe, or maybe they have long pauses, and everybody is like staring at each other and there's no communication going on because your friend has maybe, he has nothing to say, right? Or he's in the midst of his discussion, but then suddenly he stopped because he ran out of ideas. So maybe one of you can actually help him by asking him these questions like, could you tell me more about that just now, like what you have said earlier, or what do you think about this, Salim, for example, may I ask you, Farid, what do you think about this? So when you ask your friends this kind of questions, so you are actually giving some time for your friend to think, okay, and the person can actually continue from your question. He can start his, or he can continue his presentation by answering your question. So you can actually help each other. If you find that your friend has nothing much to say, or maybe he or she is having some difficulties in, giving points or whatever. All right. And then you can ask for explanation. This also you can ask your friends like, could you explain to me? I don't really understand. I beg your pardon if you can't hear the person, okay? Or if you need to know clarification. Are you saying that? Okay, I just don't see why or what or how. Okay, so these are some of the examples. You don't have to memorize all these. You just have to know them, maybe one or two of these. Then you can use it in your presentation. Okay, if you want to give your opinion, you can say, in my opinion, okay, it seems to me that, I think, I feel, I reckon, I believe, all right? First of all, it's a fact that I'm absolutely convinced. You see, the last phrase is very strong. Okay, it really emphasizes on that, on your stand. I'm absolutely convinced. It's a very strong phrase, So it shows that you are very confident, or you're very strong about the topic or about your point. Okay, so try to use phrases which can actually show confidence in you by uttering good sentences or strong, using strong words like I told you just now. I believe, I agree, I disagree. Okay. And then if you agree with an opinion, okay, you can say, I agree completely. Okay, I couldn't agree more. That's true. That's right. That's just it. So these are some of the phrases that you can use when you want to agree with an opinion. Okay, especially when your friend has said something and you want to support your friend. All right. And let's say if you don't agree, you can always have a polite disagreement by saying, I disagree with you. I don't quite agree there. I'm sorry, I can't agree. You don't really mean that, do you? I don't want to argue with you, but, okay? So these are the phrases that you can use if you do not agree with your friend. Okay, so you don't have to be impolite. Okay, you can use phrases that shows that you are polite, at the same time you are actually not agreeing with them. Okay, clarifying an opinion. All right, so sometimes maybe your friend have said something, and and then your friend asked you for explanation. or then it's time for you to clarify an opinion. So you can say things like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. Okay, what I mean is, okay, all I'm saying is that, okay, so you can use these phrases to clarify your opinion. And let's say if you have, if you need time to think, okay, sometimes immediately it doesn't come to your mind, you know, you need some, maybe you need a few seconds to think of what you want to say. You can, you know, buy time by saying, that's an interesting point, okay, I've never thought about that. Let me think. You see, so this shows that, you know, you are actually giving yourself some time to think, and there will not be like long pause. Maybe you have said something, and you within that few seconds you can actually think about something else that you need to say. Okay, so you can use those phrases. All right, next. Okay, this is the outline template that you can use for your group discussion. Normally you start your presentation by saying, in my opinion, I agree, I disagree, I partially agree with the topic because of a few reasons. Okay, this is just an example. You can always change the introduction, I mean, the how you want to start the presentation, right? And then when you have stated your point or your stand, then you have to give the reasons why you say so, right? So then you can say, firstly, okay, what is your first point? Then support it with supporting details. Okay, then you move on to your second point, then third point. If you have the fourth point, just go on to the fourth point. Okay, and then excuse me, you need to have a concluding statement. Okay, you can say in conclusion, or you can say in short, okay, I agree with this topic, or I disagree with this topic, or I partially agree with this topic. Okay, you can say, you need to have a concluding statement. You must have a topic sentence like the first one just now, in my opinion, what is your stand? Start off with that first, then write all the ideas or the points that you have. All right, make sure you have you identify them, like by using sentence connectors, firstly, secondly, thirdly. All right, and then before you stop, you need to have a concluding sentence, not a conclusion, just a concluding sentence to wrap up your presentation. Okay, so this should be the way how you need to present actually. All right, sometimes students, they tend to forget the concluding part, you know. Okay, or maybe they don't actually have a stand, they straight away go to their points. Okay, so basically this is what you need when you speak. Okay, have a system when you speak, so that when people listen to you, they know what you're trying to say, and it's arranged logically, and it's easier to identify your points as well. Okay. Okay, now these are some of the sentence connectors that can be used in group discussions. I'm sure you are very well versed with this. You have used this in your writing as well, I'm sure, right? I'm just going to go through this very quickly. So if you want to add some information, you can use words like and, also, as well as, moreover. Okay, if you have sequencing like firstly, secondly, thirdly, you can also use the word finally, final point, next, meanwhile, right? If you are illustrating, you can give example like, for example, for instance. Okay, cause and effect, you can use because, so, therefore, thus, right? Comparing, similarly, likewise, qualifying, but, however, although, unless. If you are contrasting, you can use the words like whereas, instead of, alternatively, otherwise, on the other hand, conversely. Okay, many students, they make mistakes with the word, the phrase on the other hand. What does it mean actually? It is actually means you are contrasting the idea. Okay, So some students, from my observation, I noticed that they do not know how to use the phrase "on the other hand." They think that it's like in addition, but actually it's not. It's actually to say a contrasting idea. Okay, so just pay attention to that. And emphasizing, if you want to emphasize, you can say above all, or in particular, especially, significantly, indeed, notably. You don't have to remember all these sentence connectors, all right? Just take a few that you know, okay? That you know and you are familiar with, and then try to use them in your presentation. Okay? All right. Other than that, I can also share some tips with you. These are some general tips. Okay. You need to always stay positive before, during, and after any exam. Okay. Stay positive. Always tell yourself that I am going to do it and I will do it. All right. Secondly, you can actually watch motivational videos to boost your confidence and self-esteem. Okay, you can watch some videos on speaking. How do people actually speak? How do they get their confidence actually? You can do this on your own. You don't have to depend on your teachers. All right? Because we can't do much in the class. You have to do it on your own outside the class. During outside the class time, right? So when you have free time, you can watch motivational videos. Okay, this will motivate you to speak better and boost your confidence. And then consult your teachers if you have any problems regarding speaking. All right, if you think that you have some things that you need to discuss with your teachers, please go do so. Okay, teachers are always welcoming students. They are always there for you. Okay, they are always there to help you to improve your English. So any problems in speaking, to please speak to your speaking teachers. All right, they will be able to help you, to guide you. All right, and then converse in English language with your teachers and friends in or outside classroom. This is very important. All right, from my observation also, I noticed that many students, when we have face-to-face class or even during Google Meet session, or maybe when homework is assigned to you, group work is given to you, I'm sure many of you speak in Malay, right? So that's not very good idea. So what you can do is to change the language that you use to communicate with your friends. Speak only English if you are given English language homework. All right, speak to your teachers in English, even with your friends, okay, with your roommates, okay, because the more you speak, the better you become. Okay, and the last thing that I want to emphasize here is pray. Okay, so pray before the exam that God will give you the strength. He will give you the support for you to do well in your exam. Okay, and you will succeed in your life. All right, so these are some of the things that you can do on your own. All right, and I think I'm coming to the end of my presentation. So I would like to take the opportunity here to wish all my students, to all of you, all right, good luck in your exams. Okay, and I'm sure you can do this. I'm very sure you can do this. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day ahead and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Madam Baljit.
Welcome.
Yeah, yes. Students, do you have questions? We can spare about 5 more minutes here if you have any questions to ask. You can ask directly or you can type your question on the comment box. But I see that in the comment box, there's like Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. That's all.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, when we are finished talk our speech, we first with the opinion and the point, and then we conclude that. After that, can we ask our friends about it? Maybe we can ask, what's your opinion and what's your point about what I say? Can we say like that?
Yes, you can. You can ask your friends for opinions or what do they think about what you have said just now, because this is a discussion. So it's because sometimes when you have finished talking and you may find there is a long silence, nobody wants to say anything. So actually you can ask your friends, okay, what do you think about this? Maybe Amir, Ahmad, what do you think about this? So you can provoke them to speak. All right, that's no problem in that.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Madam Baljit, there's one question in the chat box over there. Would you want me to read it for you?
Is it the what band should be achieved?
Not really. The one above. Is it our speaking exam is same with MUAT, yeah, the Malaysian University English Test, which we need to state one idea that all of us need to agree with that?
Okay. Regarding the MUET exam, I think we don't really follow that format, right? In your for your EPT speaking exam, okay, all of you need not agree to one point. Okay, you can have different ideas, you can actually agree or disagree. At the end of the presentation or your group discussion, you actually don't have to have everyone to agree to what uh, uh, to agree to one idea or one stand. You can have different ideas, okay, because everybody will have different way of thinking, they have different things to say, they will look at the issue from a different angle. So it is not necessary for everyone in the group to agree to that topic. Okay, so the most important thing is your part, whether you have delivered your speech clearly or not, whether your stand is clear. Okay, and have you given enough supporting details to convince your friends and also the examiners? That is important. Okay.
Okay, madam, there's another one here. What band should we achieve in speaking to pass the EPT exam?
What band? It depends actually on your kuliah, right? Certain kuliah they require, I think, just a band 5 maybe to pass, and certain kuliah like law, they would need, the students would need a higher band. Okay, maybe a band 6 or 6.5 to exit. Okay, so regarding the band, I think the best person for you to check with is your speaking teacher. You can consult your speaking teacher and ask your speaking teacher. Okay, but try to get at least 5.5 and above. Okay, that is actually a passing band, 5.5 and above. Actually, speaking is the easiest to score compared to writing. You know, you should try scoring higher for your speaking exam. Try to get a band 6 or 6.5 or even 7. Okay, I have students who actually they can actually get a band 6.5 or even 7 when they speak. Okay, so it is not impossible for you to get a good band. All right, so it comes with practice. The more you practice, the more you read, okay, the better you become.
Okay, madam, one more question here. Do we know our group members before the exam?
Yes, I think you should know, and your teachers will let you know who are your group members.
All right, another one here. Do we need to introduce ourselves when we start speaking?
Yes, you can introduce yourselves. That will be better because the examiners do not know you. So it's good if you can introduce yourself, right?
Okay, one more here. If our group partial opinion, how do we conclude at the end?
Partial conclusion. You can actually conclude with two opinions there. Okay, you can say like some of my friends agree and some do not agree. Okay, so then maybe you can say maybe you can come up with a suggestion or recommendation. At the end of the day, it is up to the individual to whether to do something regarding the topic. It depends on what topic you get. If you have a few members who agree or disagree, you can just say some of my friends agree, some of my friends do not agree, and things like that.
Okay, one more. If we at some point, I mean our own opinion for the conclusion to help our friend for the final conclude, which means that you are helping out your friend. Is that allowed?
Normally for the final conclusion, you do not add new points. You just have to summarize whatever that has been said, and I don't think you need to help your friend. It's okay because you are doing the final conclusion. So conclusion here means you are summarizing what your group has discussed. So no need to add on new points there. It's not advisable actually. Okay.
Okay, one last one here. If one of my group speaking do not want to speak because of being shy or lack of confidence, can we take his or her time to speak?
As I said just now, let's say if you have in a group a friend who cannot speak much or who has difficulties in speaking, you can actually help your friend, okay, so that she or he can speak. All right. How do you help your friend? You can actually ask him some questions so that he can answer your questions and he can move on from there. He can give some example. Maybe you can ask him, can you give me some examples on this issue? What do you think about this? So when you do that, you are actually helping your friend to speak. And I think it is not wise for you to take over her time or his time because he also needs a band to pass, right? So why not we support each other and help each other? Okay.
Okay, any more? Okay, one last question here. I think we will answer to this. Is body language important?
Body language is important if it is a face-to-face exam, okay, where you have your gestures and your eye contact and so on. But if it's online, you can't really do much gestures, can you? Right? So it's just the voice. You need to use your voice when you present online. Okay.
Okay, one more here. If our group have problem with internet connection, yeah, and also problem to speak or coming late, will it affect our marks?
No, it will not affect your marks because marks for your speaking exam will be given individually. Okay, so if your friend did not speak much, so probably he or she will get a lower band. And if you did well in your presentation, you will get a higher band. Okay, so everyone will be graded individually. It is not group band. Okay.
Okay, I think that answers the question. The last question here: do each member get the same band? So,
No, the answer is
yes,
no. Right?
it's individual performance. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Maybe to wrap up this last question, yeah, can we practice our English after class individually? I think Madam Baljit has mentioned that just now as the tips, yeah, for all of you. Yeah.
Yes, what you can do is you can form a group on your own, all right? outside the classroom, or not during the class time but outside the class time, have a few people in your group and you can actually practice speaking with your friends. All right, just take any topic that you are familiar with and you can practice speaking with your friends. All right, that's how you can actually improve your language. All right, and then one more thing is speak English with everyone if possible. Okay, with your friends, your roommates, even when you go to the canteen to buy something, you can speak English. Don't be shy to speak in English. All right, so I think that's all, right? And no more questions, right, Madam Amelie?
Yeah, no more question unless from the audience, if you want to ask questions, you want to speak up, me. Anyone?
Anybody has any question?
Don't forget to answer the evaluation form, yeah, in the chat room. You can scroll up and there's an evaluation form. Before you leave, you will have to answer that form in order to get your responses to check on the response, yeah?
Yeah.
No more question?
I think everybody is waiting to end, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
I understand it's a Saturday morning, right?
Yes.
You have a lot of other things to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Baljit, for sharing with us your experiences and also your thoughts on speaking exam. Yeah. Okay, my advice is you should, when you want to practice the language, you should use it, yeah, with your friends. You eat, you sleep, and you dream in English. Yeah, that's how you become best in whatever language that you are learning. Yeah. Okay. So thanks again. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. We'll meet you again in the next workshop. Yeah, maybe we will announce later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Assalamualaikum.
much, everyone. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you,
Thank you,
thank
madam.
you.
Welcome.